Well, Barrios, do you think he beats Barrios?
Don't matter if he beats Barrios or not. Still, Rolly Pacquiao. How many losses Pacquiao had? Oh, that's another thing, Brady. Pacquiao another one that don't give a losses, and everyone keep tuning in for him, right?
Take a chance at him, try to knock him out. If you ever hurt him, finish him. But meanwhile, just sit back and box and do your thing.
You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money.
Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to the ring at 46 is stirring debate in the boxing world. Floyd Mayweather has spoken out, calling the move a mistake that could hurt Pacquiao's legacy. He says it's unfortunate to see him still fighting at this stage in life. Others are also voicing concerns, not just about his health, but about what's driving the comeback. Some believe it's more about money than a true competitive spirit.
Whereas Pacquiao, at his age, which is sad that he has to fight.
Rolly Romero weighed in on Manny Pacquiao's return, saying the outcome doesn't really matter, win or lose, Pacquiao is already a legend. According to Romero, Pacquiao's the kind of fighter who's not too worried about his record at this point. Romero also mentioned he'd be interested in facing Pacquiao himself.
Which fighters actually fought?
Rolly Pacquiao.
Well, Barrios, do you think he beats Barrios?
Don't matter if he beats Barrios or not. Still, Rolly Pacquiao. How many losses Pacquiao had? Oh, that's another thing, Brady. Pacquiao another one that don't give about losses, and everyone keep tuning in for him, right? Bro, all that undefeated, that don't mean shit if you're not fighting nobody. Nobody gives about you.
Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's comeback, saying the boxing legend has already done it all. He praised Pacquiao's incredible career and said his achievements speak for themselves. While Jones has great respect for him, he questioned whether stepping back into the ring at this point is really necessary.
Fighter of the decade, 1990s. Passing on the torch to Manny Pacquiao, fighter of the 2000.
Right?
Any advice tonight for him?
Just be smart. Don't get overly aggressive. Try to be smart with your aggression. Take your shots when you can, but don't go out there to just strictly knock him out. Just outbox him like you did last time. And when you get chances, take chances at him, try to knock him out. If you ever hurt him, finish him. But meanwhile, just sit back and box and do your thing. You have nothing to prove to him.
Any advice for any children and youth on the benefits of sports, not smoking in general? What would you say to them?
No smoking, no drinking, party lightly. Always keep your own mind. That's how I got to where I am now. I always keep my own mind. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs. Stay in your own mind. In your own mind, then you can make your own choices and decisions the proper way. Give yourself the best chance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat. Thank you.
Tim Bradley shared his concerns about Manny Pacquiao's return to boxing, suggesting it seems more about money than love for the sport. He pointed out that comebacks like this often signal financial struggles. Bradley also warned that Mario Barrios, who's younger and in his prime, could seriously challenge Pacquiao and possibly end his career on a rough note. That, he said, raises real doubts about whether this fight should even happen.
Getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I actually think he can beat Barrios.
Combat analyst Ryan Campbell shared his take on Manny Pacquiao's return, noting how rare it is to see a 46-year-old step back into the ring against a much younger champion like Mario Barrios. He compared the situation to George Foreman's legendary comeback, reminding fans that age doesn't always count someone out. While he understands the doubts, Campbell believes boxing has a way of delivering surprises, and that there's always a chance for something special to happen.
An only 8-division world champion. He'll be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame next month. And then in July, BC is going to come out of retirement. Why now?
By the way, between those two dates, I believe he has an election coming up for a Senate position in the Philippines. So we always know that Manny is a busy man. He gets after it. He also dares to be great. And this is wild news. Look, in the boxing underground rumor mill, this had been floating around for a couple months. We just didn't know if it was going to be for real. Was Manny really going to commit to not just coming back after 4 years away, after just one fight in the last 6 years, at age 46, but to come back directly into a title fight against a young, in his prime, active champion in Mario Barrios? It's interesting theater, to say the least. It's a pay-per-view main event, reportedly for July 19th. And we know Manny Pacquiao has always brought big business, but now he's going to bring it in more of the late career George Foreman type of way to etch himself into that record book even further. Can Manny do it? I mean, look, the odds are certainly against him, but there's one thing about certain legends in this game. Think Bernard Hopkins, who fought into a very late age. Some of them, as long as they can physically get themselves into that ring, sometimes they can reproduce magic for one night. So it's a romantic situation. I got cats walking around.
Yep.
People are excited to see the Pac-Man back. You just got to kind of figure out, is this for real? Is he going to be for real? Or are we going to send him into a physical, violent retirement?
Ryan Campbell also spoke about Pacquiao's current condition, noting that while he's clearly past his prime, he still has surprising speed, enough to keep up with many average fighters today. Though he's no longer as sharp or explosive as he once was, his agility and hand speed remain solid, especially when compared to some of today's welterweights. Recent training clips have only added to the conversation. In one video, Pacquiao looked focused and surprisingly quick, firing off fast combinations and showing footwork that hinted at the rhythm that once gave elite opponents trouble.
Power, right? He hasn't fought in 4 years. What makes you think he's got a chance against the much younger, the 29-year-old Mario Barrios?
Look, I'm not saying the odds will be high that he's going to come back and pull this upset or even be ultra competitive. But again, it's sort of like Manny's already superhuman. Turning pro at like age 15 or 16 at 106 pounds and winning titles in 8 divisions. And oh, by the way, 2 fights ago for Manny in 2019, he came out of retirement and beat an unbeaten Keith Thurman for the welterweight title at the age of 40. There's very few greats that you can call all-time greats, and I think sometimes even above that category, there's that upper room. Is Manny Pacquiao one of those in boxing history? Sure. But let's look at a couple things. The last thing to go is power, yes. Manny was also absurdly fast in his prime. So like a Roy Jones Jr. who hung on far too long, but was still fighting professionally at the age of 50, he still got speed that kind of compares to the average or above average speed that's out there today.
Promoter Frank Warren and broadcaster Simon Jordan have both spoken out strongly against Manny Pacquiao's comeback. They believe letting a 45-year-old boxing icon step into a high-stakes title fight is a bad call. Warren called the move disappointing and unnecessary, especially since Pacquiao's legacy is already secure. Jordan agreed, saying there's nothing left for Pacquiao to prove, and that putting his health on the line for one more fight feels more like exploitation than respect.
Absolutely. When Frank can speak to it far more eloquently than I can, I think it's a disgraceful decision. I think it's an appalling decision. I mean, the WBC make lots of appalling decisions, and I'm not a big fan of them. But the fact of the matter is Pacquiao is a legend of the sport. I don't know why they want to do it, whether it's the fees that they get as a result of it or whether it's the publicity. Boxing is in a brilliant position right now because of the Frank Warrens in the world and the relationships that he's developed over the last couple of years with the Saudis. That's opened the door for everybody else. We're getting brilliant fights. We don't need to rehash somebody that's 46 years of age that didn't look great in his last fight, stick him in against a world champion who isn't a great world champion, but that's not the point. The optics of this, the reality of this, there's no necessity for it.
Both Warren and Jordan also questioned the reasons behind approving this fight, suggesting that money might be taking priority over Pacquiao's health. They argued that someone of his legendary status should be celebrated in retirement, not pushed back into a risky matchup with a younger, sharper opponent. In their view, this isn't the way a champion should be treated, warning that the outcome could bring regret rather than glory.
Necessity for it, besides the WBC doing it for, I think, illegitimate reasons.
Why? I mean, Frank, you know the sport inside out. It seems to me, why does boxing always seem to allow for these kind of stories to manifest themselves?
Well, it's not boxing doing it, it's the governing body. I mean, it's their title and they decide who can fight for their title, so that rests with the governing body. I mean, for me, George Foreman came back, but he came back at an old age and won the title at 50 years. He was 50 years of age when he fought. You know, you look at
but he didn't go straight into a world title fight though, did he, Frank? He built up.
That's the point I was going to make. You know, you come in and you test the water. Go straight in for a world title fight is I don't see. I just don't go with that, and I don't understand that. And you know, and there are older guys who've managed over the years, although they've been active. For example, Bernard Hopkins, who's a great fighter, who fought well into his